Hey everybody, it's Alex at Motoroso, and this is our 4th generation Toyota Tacoma, and we're getting ready to talk about what are some of the first mods that I'm going to be doing to this Tacoma, as well as what are some of the mods I plan over time. Cannot wait to dig into this new platform. The 3rd generation Tacoma was amazing. This 4th gen is looking like it's shaping up to be the best version of the Tacoma yet, and we've been waiting a long time for it. We put our deposit down 6-7 months ago, but the guys over at Toyota of Escondido took great care of us and got us one of the first ones that has become available, and now we're able to start diving into all the modifications. And in true Motoroso fashion, we're going to be making videos about all the products that come out, reviewing them, and showing you how-to installation guides. So make sure you subscribe to our channel to see those videos as they release. And of course, those products will also be available for purchase over on our website at motoroso.com. We'll always put links to the products in the video descriptions as well. Now on our website, you can also reach us on live chat or call us toll-free at 833-MOTOROSO. We'd love to help you with your Tacoma project. So before I dive into what mods we're going to be doing first, let's talk quickly about which version of the Tacoma did we pick up. Now, the TRD Off-Road was the most popular version of the 3rd generation Tacoma. A lot of our customers had that when they were coming to us for build projects. So we went with the TRD Off-Road version of this latest one, knowing that a lot of our customers would have the same. And for several reasons, the TRD Off-Road really is the right choice, because if you're going to be taking this thing off-road, all those crawl modes, the drive modes, the 4-wheel drive, obviously, and then the locking rear differential, very, very important. Now, there are some pretty killer off-roading features on the TRD Trail Hunter and the TRD Pro, but for several reasons, we went with the TRD Off-Road. Now, one of those is that the TRD Trail Hunter and Pro are simply not available yet. The bigger motor that comes in those higher level trims is simply not rolled out yet. So that does also mean that what we've got here is the iForce motor, 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo, not the new hybrid version. Now that hybrid version is coming in the larger version, the larger trim levels. It is going to be a better motor. I'm sure it's going to make more power and more torque, but it's also going to be a $3,000 to $5,000 additional option. So we think a lot of customers might steer this direction and go with the lower trim of the motor, especially because it makes the same kind of power and torque levels that came out of the 3.5 liter V6. But because it's also a forced induction engine, we think there's going to be plenty of opportunities to improve the power. So as we move forward, of course, we're going to be looking for opportunities to do that. Now, of course, there's also a lot of other features and additional trims that you can add to the TRD Off-Road. We simply made sure that we got all the drive and crawl modes for off-road performance, and then we went with the best electronics and audio package that we could get on the TRD Off-Road, because we don't like to do a lot of that in the aftermarket. We just get the best version of that. That huge new screen that they've got is absolutely stunning, and the audio from that JBL system sounds fantastic, so we're really happy with that. That lets us just move on to the performance mods we want to do. Now, there is one thing about the TRD Off-Road that is not available, that is only available on the TRD Sport and the TRD Pro. Now, the TRD Sport and the Pro are available with that hood scoop option, and people absolutely love that. Now, Toyota knows what they're doing, not making that hood available on the TRD Off-Road. They're trying to get the folks that really want the off-road performance stuff to go all the way to the TRD Pro, just based off of all the other cool features, but of course that really aggressive looking hood scoop option. So we think there will definitely be products available in the aftermarket, and of course one of the first things we'll do is get our hands on one of those and show you what that's going to look like, so you can go with the trim level that you want without having to go all the way up to that $65,000 TRD Pro and still get that cool aggressive look. So of course there was a first few easy things that we jumped right in to get this thing looking better. Immediately remove that front license plate and take off all those annoying warning stickers throughout the whole vehicle. That's obvious. The only thing that was slightly more challenging on that is the warning labels that are on the visors. I hate those things. They are definitely glued on there way too hard, but it is a pretty easy fix. Go ahead and take the visors out. You simply hit it with a heat gun to heat up the glue that's on the back of those stickers, and then peel them back. As soon as you get the heat to the right level, they'll peel right off. It will leave a little bit of glue residue on the fabric, but I just put a little Goo Gone on a rag, wipe that off gently to kind of clear the glue away, then cleaned that with carpet cleaner. I did that on both visors, put that right back in, and it really cleans up the whole appearance of the interior, and that's low-hanging fruit to do right away. So of course we got that out of the way immediately. Now, the front windows also were pretty light compared to the tinting in the rear windows, so we took that over to a tint shop and got that tint matched, so that looks a lot better, plus it'll help keep the interior of the vehicle cool. And then the last thing, and I think the most striking, is mimicking that look of the TRD black roof and A-pillar line. So we got the A-pillar, the mirrors, and the roof wrapped in a gloss black vinyl, and that gives it a really sharp appearance, a lot like that TRD Pro, without that massive upcharge for the TRD Pro just for that black roof. So that's some of the super simple, easy stuff you can do yourself and or with a local tint or wrap shop. But moving on to some more tangible modifications. The first thing I'm doing on my Tacoma here, and the first thing I do on all of my vehicles, is a pedal commander throttle control module. Now I love these things because they really give you total control over the way the vehicle feels and responds to your pedal input. From the manufacturer, they build in throttle pedal lag. So as you push the pedal down, it's not immediately responsive, and they do that to save fuel economy. Now, in the Tacoma, I've got a little sport button, and that'll make that pedal a little bit more sensitive, and it is making the vehicle feel more responsive, but it's kind of just one setting. It's on or off. You don't get a lot of control. The reason I like the pedal commander is it's a super simple installation. It does not affect your warranty in any way, which I think is one of the most important features, especially on new trucks, and nobody wants to void their warranty. And it's going to give you 36 levels of control. Imagine if your sport button had 36 different settings, more sensitive than it comes from the factory, and then all the way over to the eco mode. It gives you a huge range of control over the way it feels, so that you can tune it to feel exactly the way that you want it to for whatever you need in that moment in time. If you put it in the sport modes on the high end of the spectrum, it's going to be much more responsive, feel very, very sporty, and it's going to respond to your inputs almost immediately. And frankly, the highest setting for most people, including me, it's just almost too much. But it's nice to know that it's there if you want it. Now, if you want to swing it over into the other lower ends of that, in the eco modes, it's really going to slow that pedal down dramatically, and it's going to help on long trips for fuel economy. I mean, I live in California. Some of our gas prices are getting upwards of $7 at the time of making this video. That's really expensive, so it's nice to be able to save some fuel on long trips. But it's also really helpful in the off-roading situations. In low grip, very slippery conditions, having a sensitive pedal is not going to be good. It's going to make it a lot easier to break traction. So in off-roading situations, I like to throw it down in those eco modes, and that's going to really help maintain control over that throttle pedal because it's less sensitive. Okay, so I'm talking about a lot of different things here. I'm rambling a little bit, but the bottom line is this is a great mod if you want to be able to modify the way the thing feels without voiding your warranty at all. As I said, it's a really easy installation. Now, on top of your throttle pedal, there's a little clip harness that you unplug and then plug this in line and then simply mount the control box wherever you want it. And you can control your pedal commander either using the buttons on the box itself, or there's a nice Bluetooth remote that allows you to control it through your phone, which makes it really convenient. And that means you can even hide the pedal commander module itself so that it's not even visible in the vehicle. Now, a lot of people out there will actually make comments about throttle control modules like this, saying that they don't actually do anything. They're not going to actually change the output of the engine. And that is true. It's not tuning the engine. That's a whole different ballgame and will often void your warranty. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Just because this isn't changing the actual power output of the engine does not mean it's not a very potent modification, I promise you. It really dramatically changes the way that you feel the vehicle responding to your inputs, and it gives you a huge range of control over that, and that is a really, really nice thing to have. I put these on every single one of my vehicles. Now, it is a new connector. The third generation Tacoma pedal commanders do not work on the new fourth generation. There is a new part number. We're going to put a link to that in the description and a link right here. That'll take you over to Motoroso.com if you want to pick up a pedal commander for your fourth generation Tacoma. Next modification we're going to be doing right away is replacing these junky fog lights that come in the bumper with a proper set of Baja Design's SAE fog pockets. Now, Baja Design is going to be making all kinds of application-specific kits for this new Tacoma. We will definitely be making lots of videos highlighting all of those for that proper, really high-power off-road lighting. But for those fog lights, we like to get something in there that is a much more significant output of light. So we're going to be starting with their SAE kit. Now, that means their street-legal fog light kit. So this is not an off-road light that puts out too much light that you can get a ticket for running. These are road-legal approved fog lights. They go right in that same fog pocket location, but are going to throw out a much higher quality, a much higher level of light output from that fog pocket location. We're going to make a separate video about that. I'll put a link to that video right here and a link to the product and the video in the description of this video as well. There's going to be a few options for that, including amber or clear lenses and different levels of light output. So check out that video to see what might be the right fog pocket kit for you. So those are the immediate modifications, just a couple little small things to enhance this fourth generation Tacoma, but all the big stuff is going to be coming very, very soon. So of course we're going to be doing larger wheels and tires. Now there's a major change in the wheel and tire setup on this Tacoma. We are going to be able to fit bigger wheels and tires than on the previous third generation Tacomas, which were fairly limited. We don't have all the specifications of what can work and will work with all the different trim levels like TRD Sport, SR5, TRD Off-Road Pro, all that. That's still to be developed, but we'll keep you updated when we get into that. side of things. But we do know that you're going to be able to fit larger wheels and tires. Now, we also know that the offset of the wheel has changed dramatically. With the third generation Tacomas, you could pretty much bank on a 17 by 8.5 wheel with a 0 offset being just the right look. Nice flush look, little bit of tire poke. No longer. These wheels are going to require a positive offset wheel to get that appearance. A 0 offset is going to stick way too far outside the vehicle. You're not going to like the way that looks. So we're going to probably be aiming for something like a plus 18 or a plus 25, somewhere in that window for that flush look with a little bit of tire poke. But again, we'll be going to 35s. That's our plan for this. I've seen a few people go to 37s. I think that's going to be a little bit much. And this motor, I do not believe, will push 37s very well. So I think you're going to want to stick with either a 33, a 34, or a 35-inch tire. We'll keep you posted on what we do on our TRD off-road here. And then comes the topic of suspension. And there will be a huge selection of suspension offerings for this Tacoma, just like there was on the last. Everything from very simple leveling kits to just bring up the front, all the way on up to eventually some long travel suspension kits that are going to require wider aftermarket fenders. Just like we did on our Bronco project, we will get there eventually, but we're probably going to start with a simple, roughly 3-inch lift on this. There are a few kits that have come out from a few brands. We're going to start doing videos to walk you through the different options and the different comparisons of those different suspension kits, as well as installation guides to show you how to put them on and off. Now, of course, we're also going to want to make more power out of the engine. And because we did go with the standard 2.4-liter turbo here, not the iForce Max with that hybrid, which does make more power and torque, and it's pretty significant bump on that. So people might be happy with those levels, but just like always, everybody's always going to want to get a little bit more. Now, because that other option from the motor, like I mentioned earlier, is a $3,000 to $5,000 more expensive motor, a lot of people might opt for this and then look for some low-hanging fruit to make more power in the aftermarket. Because it's a turbo, we think that's going to come in the form of some low-hanging fruit like an intercooler. An upgraded intercooler is going to help get cooler, more dense air into the intake of the engine and significantly increase the power output. We are very likely going to see some high-quality cold air intakes that'll flow air better and filter the air better. And then, of course, there's going to be some exhaust systems that might help free up some of that power as well and make this thing sound a little bit better. Now, it is a Turbo 4, so we don't know how it's going to sound really with an exhaust system on it, but we will make videos showing the before and after of the different exhaust systems to help you understand what options are out there to get the different tones. We always make really high quality recordings to let you know what you think you can expect from any given exhaust system, and we're really hoping that Toyota has designed this motor in a way that it's going to sound good and not like a tin can. On the last generation Tacoma, on the V6 version, you could upgrade the ignition coils and get a significant bump in power. That may be an option for this motor as well, but nothing is out yet. We'll keep you posted as those release. And then, of course, on the topic of tuning, that is eventually something that there will be some options for, but Toyota has always been notoriously difficult to do, and it will definitely void your warranty. So we don't think anybody's going to crack the ECU and want to tune these things right away, right out of the gate, unless they just don't care about having a warranty. But there might be some piggyback tunes available. That's something that was available on the Broncos. We made a lot of different videos about that, as well as the Raptors. So we're expecting to keep an eye out for something like that, and we'll share that as soon as it becomes available. And that might be a really good way of doing a piggyback tune to boost power significantly with a really nice and easy install. Now, there's also going to be a lot of options for front and rear bumpers, and we're definitely going to want to do some off-road bumpers, make this thing look a little more aggressive and a little tougher in the off-road situations. Now, in the front, just like the last generation, if you want to do a full-width bumper, you're probably going to have to do some cutting of that existing bumper. That does freak people out a little bit. It's really not that big of a deal, but if that's going to make you really uncomfortable, then you might want to look for the bumpers that are going to come out that are just going to replace that sort of middle lower section that'll put a steel bumper in, give you some off-road LED lighting options, and will flow nicely into a skid plate. And then, of course, we're also going to look at skid plate options under the entire chassis so that you can get into those nasty off-roading situations without tearing out the undercarriage components. In the front, you may also see options for winches. We will make videos covering what comes out available for this thing, including full width options, and we will show you how to install those when they come up. Now, in the rear, it's going to be an interesting appearance because the new Tacoma has this interesting bumper that cuts forward aggressively. I think that's going to look really, really good when you get an off-road bumper in there and give you great corner protection for those aggressive off-road situations. You might find some cool high clearance options come out. We're very excited to see what's going to come out in the rear, and we think because of that chop, it's going to look pretty cool with a black bumper there. It's going to give it a nice aggressive appearance. It's going to complement that black top that we put on here. Now, we're also, of course, going to need something on the side, something like rock sliders or steps. There's going to be some power step options. And if you're going to be lifting your Tacoma and putting it on larger wheels and tires, you might need a drop step or a power drop step to help you get in and out, your family get in and out. We will cover all the options we can as those release. There's also going to be a ton of different bed accessories for this thing. We're going to for sure be doing some sort of a tonneau cover. We're going to be looking for T-slot rails so that we can put bed racks on this vehicle so that we can actually put a rooftop tent and all the other overlanding types of stuff that we want to put in the bed of this thing. I could talk for an hour right now about all the stuff we might expect to see there. Best thing to do here is just subscribe to the channel and watch these videos as they come out. We'll be doing as many reviews and product releases and installation guides as we possibly can. And then lastly, I think you'll see a lot of lighting options for this Tacoma. Baja Designs, a brand that we like a lot, has already announced a roof bar, an A-pillar bar, and a reverse kit, as well as their fog pocket kit, which we're going to be doing an installation guide video for. So keep an eye on those options as well as all the other ones. We'll review them and show you product spotlight videos as those come out as well. So obviously I can make this a 2-hour video about all the cool stuff that I think is going to come out for the Tacoma. The best thing you can do is subscribe to our channel and hit that bell so you get all the notifications of the videos as they release. We're going to be showing you all the products as they come out, installation guides, and helping you decide what's going to be right for your Tacoma. We hope you find those videos helpful, and if you do, please shop with us at Motoroso.com. We're also there available on live chat, or you can call us toll-free at 833-MOTOROSO. If this is a month later, 6 months later, a year later, 5 years later, calling us is going to be the best way to get the most up-to-date information about the products that are available for you, or watching for those most recent videos on our YouTube channel. We're excited to dig into this 4th generation Tacoma, and we hope you'll come along for the journey with us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.